been a long time waiting for the Don Chalice Park to look like it's supposed to, but it will after Monday. And that's about it.
Are you guys using the big machine again to put the mulch down?
Yeah,
That was fun watching.
yeah.
The blower.
Can I assume you got my email about the portalet tipped over?
I just can't.
Yeah, that's getting to be a regular thing. Usually you can tip it back over and there's no problems. This time it was a bad time to tip it over, so there's been an issue getting it back opened again, but we'll get it done.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Hornet Park Community Center Director.
Good evening. How are you guys?
Good.
How are you?
Good. So this is not July, but we just wrapped. The Kingdom Crumb was out for the Hornet Pantry. So thanks to Autumn for showing up. And Carson Wentz was actually out there today. So I really wanted to text Jeff, and I said, I don't have Jeff's number. But it was really cool. Him and his wife came out. They're expecting their fourth child. They served the community, said hi to people. They cooked for a little bit. So we served 197 people. And they'll be back out probably sometime in the fall. So this is like a recurring partnership that we now have that we worked really hard on last October to secure. And now it's kind of like a rotating schedule. So, and they said this is one of their absolute favorite communities to serve. They said the vibe was very good. And they really enjoyed talking to the citizens of Beech Grove. So we're very fortunate to have that partnership. Staying on pantry updates, thank you to the Parks Foundation. We were able to secure that Campbell's partnership. I did include a photo for you guys in the report. It shows Candace and Arnie with the truck. So we actually received 2 whole pallets from Campbell's snacks distribution now. So that is anywhere from goldfish to cookies to crackers to chips. And it's new food, so it's not expired food that's coming to the pantry. It is brand new food that is going to like Meijer, Kroger, that kind of stuff. And then we get to pull our little van up and get the pallets loaded onto our truck. So thank you guys
That's great.
so much for that. I think my mic went out, but I'm pretty good at projecting, so let me know if you can't hear me. Can you guys hear me?
Not very well, but that's.
I see.
Yeah, we need a pro.
I'm just gonna, there we go. Woo. Okay. So just as like a quick little rundown for the Parks Works, I know we have new members. I just wanted to point out the partnerships that the pantry does do. And so we do Second Helpings, Servants Hearts, Campbell's, Gleaners, and then we are now starting the DAP program with Gleaners, which is the direct to agency pickup. So we, as a pantry, get to go to a grocery store, which we will get to go to Meijer, and we will get to pick up directly from Meijer. So with all those partnerships, we are doing pickups pretty much 2 to 3 days a week now. And we have plenty of food for people because our numbers are growing every single day. We see about 20 to 30 new pantry clients every single pantry. So we're steadily climbing. For a taste of the pantry, we did the cookout. We fed over 200 people. So that's 2 food outreaches in a row that we've seen really good numbers on. And then for events, as a reminder, we are closing out the summer concert series. We have one more next week on the 21st. It's the John Mellencamp tribute at 7 p.m. We will have a variety of food trucks. I believe it's the Little League will be there. I believe Papa Curls will be there. Julicious and one other one that are Pronto Tacos is also. Thank you, Mayor. Hello? Ah, perfect. Thank you. Will also be there. So everybody, if you haven't been to any of the concerts, I encourage you to come out. It's been quite enjoyable. I know it's been pretty hot this last time, like this summer, but we've still had some pretty good crowds. We've gotten a lot of feedback, positive feedback. So we did wrap Summer Fun Lunch. That was another successful year. We saw between 60 kids is where we like ended the summer with, but we started the summer with 100. And we've actually been seeing like cross-pollination within our community programs. So people who are coming to Fun Lunch are now coming to the pantry, coming to breakfast, and they're excited to come for Movies by the Bonfire, which is what we're planning next. So it is our fall movie series that really took off last year, and we only did it in October last year. And so we decided to extend it into September, which is one of the other reasons why we decided to downscale on the summer concert series, was because we listened to the citizens, and the citizens were really craving something a little bit different. And so we do summer concerts during the summer, and then we do fall movie series at the Hornet Park Community Center, September and October. So that full list of movies will be released in, I believe, actually Friday. So we'll release the movie list Friday. And then other than that, you guys have the revenue is included. And then I also just put a new little thing for you guys. All of the events that we've thrown this year, I put the total that we have spent on those events, because I do think it's important for you guys to see that, like, the community center is investing in the community, and we're getting the response that we're looking for, and we're getting the engagement we're looking for. And people are really enjoying Arbor Day, Touch a Truck, Fun Lunch, Summer Concert Series. So, and a lot of that stuff is funded through sponsorships, and then through our non-reverting, and through our budgets that we do every year. So, does anybody have any questions? No? Awesome. Thanks.
It's nice to be able to listen to the concerts from your backyard.
Yeah, I'm sure.
In the air conditioning.
And I was going to say, yeah, in the air conditioning.
Last time it was
Thanks,
pretty
guys.
mild. The last one.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we will start with guest recognition. Would the Little League like to go first? Thank you. Thanks.
How you doing?
Hi there.
My name is Matt. I am from Beech Grove Little League. I'm new to all this. I never had to talk in front of Parks Board before. The reason I'm here is to just introduce myself. I am new to Beech Grove Little League's board, and I am from the East Coast. I've been a part of a board for a Little League back home for 5 years. I'm trying to help guide them in the right direction. So in order to do that, I guess I need to get face to face with all you guys. I've met you guys, a couple of you guys, talked to, and just figure out steps and processes and how it all works on getting things approved to what we can do and how we can do to get things looking better inside the fences for the Little League. With the ultimate goal is to hosting district tournaments and getting more people into Beech Grove and more revenue for Beech Grove. And I just want to figure out and introduce myself and figure out what's the plan going forward and how it all works, as I have no clue because I'm new to all the inner workings of a little town and how all that good stuff works.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good, Thomas.
Yeah, we did get a chance to chat a little bit at one of the concerts, so welcome to Beech Grove.
Thank you.
First of all, and thank you for taking an interest in our Little League. As you know, Margaret and her family and her team, they're there every waking hour they possibly can be. But it's definitely something that has been on our agenda and been a topic of conversation for heavily the last couple of years. So I don't want to speak on behalf of the board, but generally speaking, we're open to hearing anything that you're interested in doing and how we can help or partner with you or figure out who can help you. And I know, I mean, Tom
Yeah,
is
and
obviously the director, but if there's things we can do to help, we're happy to have that conversation.
And I've heard a little bit about the past, and bridges need to get rebuilt, and I do want to apologize for the batting cage and how long it took. But I do have more questions for the batting cage, because I guess I wanted a plan in place for inside the batting cage, because right now it's just grass. And how it would work with not making inside the batting cage look like weeds and grass and who's cutting it, or what we can do to make the batting cage look good and not an eyesore going forward.
Sure.
And there's different things inside the park that, being around a bunch of little leagues on the East Coast, and ideas that I have to make the inside the park look really nice. And just kind of, like I said, I just want a game plan and work together with you guys and whoever we need to work together with to make sure we're doing it the right way, getting the okays to do things, and how about going about doing that. So that's it.
Yep. I don't know if Tom wants to talk right now about the batting cage, but I talked to Margaret a little bit just off the record, just in general speaking, that since we want to really take advantage of the off season this year to make sure that we're hitting the ground running in the spring. So obviously you don't have the details right at the moment.
No, that's why I
We
just wanted to come, like,
take
show my face,
advantage.
introduce myself, and
Thank
kind of get a plan in place and get things moving forward. So
Take advantage of the off season to have those conversations
Yep.
and make sure that next April it's the best it can be.
Now, do you have a list of, I'm assuming both cosmetic type things that you want to do, as
Yes.
well as construction type things, or is it all just
Well,
related to cosmetics?
right now, for me, it's all related. Well, both. So there is some construction things that we want to do, and there is a lot of cosmetic things that I want to do that I think will make the fields look really nice and pop. Because like I said, my ultimate goal because I'm here for 2 more years, so my ultimate goal before I leave Beech Grove Little League is to make them looking and well run as we possibly can, and getting district tournaments held in Beech Grove, because obviously that brings other little leagues and more people and more revenue in for the town. So.
Who's currently doing the district as far as tournaments?
So this past year it was Decatur Little League.
Okay, this is District 7, is that correct?
Yeah, it's District
Okay.
7, yep. And I guess Broad Ripple's hosted it before, but of course, I've been to their facilities, and no offense to Beech Grove Little League's facilities, they look a lot nicer. So we're gonna get there, but like I said, I want to do it the right way and not I don't want to step on any toes or make anyone angry or do things we're not supposed to be doing, so.
Right. Well, I know cosmetically, a lot of that, painting and things like that would go through Tom as far as,
Okay.
things like that, as far as the construction component of it. And Tom would be able to address this more in depth as far as, some of those construction type things, we have to bid them out to
Yeah.
different companies for the opportunity
Okay.
to win that bid, so to speak. But Tom I'm sure can comment more on that. But cosmetically, just going to Tom and say, we want to paint, the bathrooms or paint the dugouts or whatever,
Okay,
or sky boxes, things like that,
yeah. So, that works. I just want to.
Do you have a preference for what is on the ground of the batting cage, or what are you thinking for that? Just something we could talk about immediately.
Well, it comes about financial wise. The right way to do it is the concrete and put turf down. But obviously, that's going to cost a lot of money, and we don't have a lot of money right now. So the easiest thing is to just tear the grass over, kill it, and put some kind of maybe pea gravel down and put turf over top of it, just a fix in the meantime, and so we can fundraise. But a real legit batting cage, it can either be pea gravel where you can walk in and it doesn't get weeds, or concrete with turf over top of it. My biggest fear is there's no plan in this who's cutting the inside, because I know the Parks Department cuts the grass and make sure that the inside of it gets cut right now while it's grass, so it doesn't just grow up into weeds. And the next thing you know, we have a batting cage that everyone's just turns into an eyesore because no one's cutting the inside of grass. If I need to do it, I have a push mower. I can push inside there, but like I said, I don't want to step on my toes and make sure we're doing it the right way.
Tom, do you have any preference on how we move forward?
We probably just need to get together.
Yeah, I'll give you my contact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe start with like a walkthrough and kind of get a list together as soon as fall ball's over, and
Works.
just kind of go from there.
Yep. Like I said, I just want to do everything the right way.
Thank you.
So.
Well, thank you guys for your efforts in putting the cage in. I think it's something that people are gonna enjoy, and they're gonna utilize it.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
again, it just takes us that next step to,
And at the end of the day, it's all about the kids. So, giving the kids the best facility to play baseball in, and, it's all about them. So,
Thank you for stepping up and being part of it.
I love this stuff. I do it back home too. So, I don't have any
Appreciate
kids. Well, my kids were in it, but not anymore. But,
We're trying to convince him to stay in the Midwest.
but
As long as he can.
yeah. But I look forward to working with all of you, and I'll get your contact information too before we're all said and done, so we can all, at the end of the day, work together and make it all work and make it happen. So,
Appreciate it.
Great.
appreciate it. You guys giving me the time to speak. So,
Thank you.
this is my first time ever doing this. I watch
did a
Parks and
good job.
Recreation all the time, and
Come back anytime.
it's my time to shine. So,
thank you for your service.
thank you. I appreciate it. So, that's all I got.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
That's it?
That's
I don't-
it.
We don't get to hear Margaret?
Unless you have any questions for us.
Okay.
I don't have anything to add. I'm just here for moral support.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, and was there anybody else in the audience that came to speak on an item this evening? Okay, I apologize, I didn't have the sheet out early enough, but if you'd like to speak, just put your name on there, and then you can step up to the podium. Ben, go ahead. Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Hey folks.
Hi.
I brought my notes so I wouldn't forget anything. Thank you for the opportunity to provide public comment tonight. You already have an email from me, but I saw the agenda downstairs and thought I would come and speak in person and maybe build on that a little bit. I wanted to affirm what you have done already. I've appreciated.
What's your name?
My name is Ben Easley,
And where do you live?
and I live on South 11th Street, 11th Avenue. I've really appreciated the temporary planters that are on the bridge in Bolton Park these past several weeks, both when my family goes for walks in the park and when we attend the concerts and various events. These are quality of life amenities, the park and the trail, and they're the reason that my wife and I have moved to Beech Grove and that we have started our family here. I feel a lot safer knowing that cars are not moving through the park just as a cut through, but they are intentional about the place they are going, and that they know that pedestrians and kids are likely to be in a park. In general, I think we have a design issue. We have city streets that are coming off of the city grid that then move through a public park that has no sidewalks for pedestrians or people who walk or roll. And that's kind of the opposite of what you'd expect or want in a park. So I commend the idea of a temporary, no-cost installation that simply changes the dynamics of how cars move through this pedestrian-focused space. I've heard a few folks say that they really appreciate the ability to drive through the park from one side to the other as a way to unwind or to appreciate the natural flora in the park, and that makes so much sense to me. And I think that's very easy to do with this current installation. By driving in and parking to enjoy the space, or by entering one side of the park and then moving around to the other side and enjoying the other side of the park if you'd like to do that. Or you could drive in and park and get out and walk and enjoy the park on foot. But I don't think that prioritizing the motorist's ability just to drive through the park, even at a leisurely pace, should stand above pedestrian and children's interest in being able to walk on the roads of the park in a safe way. It's the primary way that pedestrians have to move, especially if they roll. In fact, I think that any reasoning that could be boiled down to just the convenience of motorists is necessarily a simple prioritization of drivers over the safety of pedestrians. And certainly we don't want to rely on the idea that we should keep it in the former way just because that's the way that things have always been done. Thus far, you have shown that you are willing to try something new, and I believe it's working really well. And I would encourage you to continue to keep the bridge closed as it is now and to continue to evaluate its benefits. And maybe check back in a year or so. If it's helpful, I have a radar gun for speed detection, and I'm happy to help with a speed count. However, I wouldn't delay the closure just to do a study, because all we would be measuring at this point would be cars leisurely moving into the park and then moving back out again. So you would want before info so that you could compare the after data. And that's all I have to say. I know this is a public hearing and I don't expect any answers or comments, but I'm happy to take any questions if you have them. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben. Anyone else?
You want to put my name down?
Yes, please.
I don't know if I'm on or off. Do you know? Am I on?
You're
Yes,
on.
always on.
Yeah.
Buttons don't work.
Okay.
My name's James Wilder. My family has actually owned the property, first my mom and dad, and now myself, on 16th Street, but most of you probably think of it as Main Drive. So I'm the house on the northeast side of Main Drive as you enter the city park on 17th Street. My property actually borders the trail in the park. So, I mean, for me personally, I find it inconvenience that the bridge is closed. I mean, I do drive through the park to get to the opposite side of Beech Grove. It's convenient. It's how I access the interstate to go to work, you know, whatever, Walmart, Kroger, you name it. And being that I grew up there, raised my kids there, and now raising my grandkids there, for my wife is, she babysits. You know, the only part of the road that doesn't have traffic is the bridge, right? We're still coming in off Main. We're still coming in off 17th. People are still coming in off Churchman. So the roads still have traffic, right? So the only I mean, I guess, yes, maybe there's some speeders that cut through, you know, in all honesty. The one nuisance that I was aware of was a Jeep Cherokee that liked to speed up my road. I haven't seen him as much. I was a big proponent to Mayor Buckley, and advocated for the additional, speed bumps, one of them on my hill, because we never had one until, I guess, maybe a couple cycles ago as far as elections, is when, it was put in, which did help. You know, my only question is, was like a speed bump on either side of the bridge, an additional one thought of, instead of blocking, you know, the ability to drive through the park? You know, to my knowledge of my 50-some years of my family having that property, I don't know that I ever recall a pedestrian being struck by a vehicle. And I grew up playing in the park. I mean, that was my backyard, right? So I grew up there. My children grew up there. So, I mean, I don't like the speeders any more than anyone else. And yeah, we have those. You know, back when I was a kid, though, Officer Conway would just sit in my driveway. So the people that sped up my road, then he would just stop. But that was a long time ago. And that does date me, right? But, you know, obviously, to me, it's convenience, right? I mean, I can go out Main Street. I mean, I still go through the park. I'm not going out to 17th and 17th to Main, and then Main to 13th, right? So, yeah, I'm not going around the baseball diamond to Churchman, but my house is actually on basically the park, right? I'm on the hill in the park. So I still come out of my driveway and drive down through. And I'm sure people are still cutting through. I still see them. They're still coming down off 17th, coming through the park and going out Main. So the only section that's not getting traffic is the bridge. That's it, right? Because we're still coming in off all the others. So I don't know if the goal is to make it safer, maybe, but you're not limiting the traffic. You know, the traffic's still coming into the park. It just can't get across the bridge. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Amanda. I've never done this before either. I live on 17th and Main, right next to Lamping Cleaners, on the alley to the park, so you'd be my neighbor. The house behind me, my great-grandmother bought in the 1880s. My grandmother purchased half her land around 1960. She was born in that house, the original house behind us, in 1916. We have been a big part of Beech Grove for a very long time. I grew up here. I moved here when I was 2. I am now 40. The cut-through to the park is not a cut-through. It has just been the way of life for here. My kids go to that park. To be able to get up to the top hill to check on my kids faster than having to leave the park if they're not in the lower part is very inconvenient with the bridge closed. That bridge was built, I looked it up, in 1930. To expand it was a great idea. To add sidewalks would be an even better idea, but to close it off is absolutely insane. That has been open for over 50 years. People have used it not as a cut way through, but as a way to get home, a way to check on our kids, a beautiful way just to travel when they're cutting through our city, just to look at what our park looks like. My mother is 67 years old and has cuts through that park every single day of her life to come home. Not to speed through it, not to stop in the park, but just to enjoy and admire it. She no longer can do that. So I do believe that taking down the bridge, or spending our tax dollars to expand the park bridge and then closing it, has not benefited us. I feel like we have wasted our tax dollars if that's what you plan to do with our bridge. We should not have expanded it and made it better and made it safer and then deemed it unsafe. I feel like that was a waste if that's what you're going to do with the bridge. It needs to be open, not just for the children, but for the city, so that we can access all of the park, not just pieces of it, having to leave to get to another piece of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Diana Hendricks. Can you hear me okay?
No.
No, you're kind of quiet.
Okay, now?
There you go.
Okay, I have to lean into it. Hi, I'm Diana Hendricks. I am the founder and director for Beech Grove Comprehensive Drug-Free Coalition. We are primarily a youth substance use prevention organization. And then I also own a business, Healthy Lifestyle Center. I am also an exercise physiologist. And so when I bought this house in 2005, I trained people in the park with my business. And I also, for the Drug Free Coalition, where my house sits, I'm right on the corner of the park. In fact, my house sits up very high. It's that brown brick house right by the speed, right where they go sledding and by the concert series. I sit on my hill and I see the concert, right? I can stand on my back deck, which is now becoming a sunroom to our house, and I can see all the way past where Tom resides in his office to the neighborhood back there. I have a full view of the whole entire park. So back before COVID, what I started noticing is cars would come into the park, drop with about 5 people, 6 people in the car. You'd see 3 kids get out, typically it was kids. They'd hike out to each of the entrances. The people sitting in the car, you'd see a bunch of kids running to the car. They were drug trafficking, these people were. So I got a hold of the police department. I was talking to Will Bach. He was the main one who was doing this. When they would come in, he would stop them as they were leaving the park, and he would ticket them for seatbelt violations, looking specifically to see if he could see drugs in the car and arrest them for that. We knew what was going on. They would have their phones. If they saw law enforcement coming, they would phone down to the cars, and then they would say, hey, you guys need to get out of there. And then those cars would leave. So we watched this go on for a while in the park, right? And with the 3 entrances to the park, they can escape easily. Because we might have one officer we could get at one entrance and one at another, but we don't have enough officers at all 3. And try and get Indianapolis to get to that 17th Avenue entrance, right? I mean, not that they wouldn't, but are they available to get there, right? So what we're looking at is you have 3 entrances, easy escape. When the bridge was closed in 2010 to be rebuilt, we noticed this reduced. This didn't happen because now all of a sudden they have no 3 exits. So what drug traffickers do is they will sell to youth and then turn around and get them to traffic for them. That's how that works. And that was going on in our park. And I'm telling you, I could sit and watch it. I could go down there and get pictures. I could do whatever I needed to do. Now that the bridge is closed again since July, we have seen a reduction in that again. So it wasn't a fluke. Then the other thing is, while I've been watching for that, I was watching how people drove through the park. And a park, and I'm going to read this to you, if I may, if you don't mind. Based on, I did a feasibility study that I handed out to everybody on the board. If anybody else wants a copy of it, you can let the mayor know and maybe he can get you one. So basically, when I did the study, when I was looking at what a park is, the legal description in American law of a city park is an area of land, usually in a largely natural state, for the enjoyment of public, having facilities for rest and recreation, often owned, set apart, and managed by a city, state, or nation. Sarah T. Bolton Park is recognized by the National Wildlife Federation as a certified wildlife habitat and features picnic areas, rolling topography, a creek that winds through the property, athletic courts, and fields, a 1-acre dog park, natural areas, and play equipment with nearby shelters and restroom facilities. So through the definition from the American law of city parks, it does not say a thoroughfare roadway goes through a park. Usually a park has an intra roadway you can drive through to get into the park and around the park, but not thoroughfares. I believe that is an unintended consequence of having the 3 entrances and having one on 17th and Churchman and 9th, where people can fly through that park. So basically, what I decided to do is I talked to the mayor about what was going on with the drug trafficking and that. And then I talked with him a little bit about what I was seeing with the traffic. And he said, why don't you do a feasibility study on it, which we did in 2022. I gave it to him, and you know, things like this take time, right? Environmental changes, they take time, you know that it's gonna drag. Last year, the police chief told me that it looks like things might be moving along with it, all right? He knew about it as well. And so anyway, when I saw it closed, I was so excited. I'm like, okay, so it's gonna stay closed. And we have seen less traffic through the park. We have, I have seen less cars coming into the park with several people in it to drug traffic. Again, I'm up watching, observing. That's what I do. I'm an exercise physiologist. I am a public health, community health educator, and that's the things we do. We evaluate, we watch things, we observe, we do studies. So anyway, I did a study, 2 different ones. One of them was an observation evaluation of vehicular traffic using Sarah T. Bolton Park Bridge as a thoroughfare connection between 17th Avenue ingress-egress and 13th Avenue ingress-egress. And then the other one we did was a pop-up survey where I wasn't watching the cars, I was actually talking to people in the park. And that was a pop-up survey of Sarah T. Bolton Park visitors on the safety of the park. One of the questions that I had asked them in this, there was 3 different ones. Well, actually, it's a whole page of questions, but 3 main ones. Has a car come close to hitting you in the park? We had a large response, yes. We have seniors, people, most of the people that walk like the 10 a.m. to noon time frame do so because they feel safer, like they're not going to get hit. And then, have you seen drug behavior in the park? Yes, many of them did as well. And some of them answered, not sure, because they said they thought they had, but they can't be positive enough to say yes. And then, should the vehicle bridge be a walking bridge? Yes, the response was great. And I've got some pictures on my phone. I had them put their thumbs up in front of the bridge, and I took pictures. The last week and a half, I have talked to 30 people. I had 5 who said it was probably an inconvenience. Out of those 5, I asked them if I could explain why it would be important to close the bridge. 3 of them were fully for it then. 2 of them said, well, it's still an inconvenience, but I can understand why. So if we talk with people and we explain the reasons why the park would be much safer for everybody then that uses it, and a park is about the people who use it, not the people who drive through it. Let's get that straight. People who drive through it are going from one side to the other. They are not using that public park. And as quickly as they could get there to here, right? That's how quickly they're going to fly. So looking at the studies we did and talking with people and being down there in the last week and a half and talking with people, they're excited about it being closed. In fact, a lot of the people who walk their animals, they don't use the dog park, like I don't use the dog park, but we walk our dog in the park, are very happy for it because they said so many times your dog is out on the road and someone's flying by and you're worried they're going to hit them and you have to yank them back, you know, because these people fly. And I will tell you that stop sign there, it's a suggestion. Mm-hmm. They do not, they roll through. There's very few, maybe 10 out of the 69 people who I surveyed in vehicles who actually stopped. The rest of them roll through or just keep on going like it doesn't even exist. So when you look at what's going on, with me being in the coalition, I cannot ask people to do things. I can only advocate. I cannot lobby, of course. But I can share the study of what I found. I can say that there are safety issues in our park. Our law enforcement can do what they can do. It's up to our city and it's up to our park board. It's up to our governance to be able to look at what's going on, and the people who actually visit and use that park need to feel safe. The people driving through it are not the ones who the park is for. Those roadways inside, if you go and you look, and in this study, I did include in this study, safe considerations of thoroughfares and parks, and then from our U.S. government, the navigating the regulations surrounding thoroughfares and pass-through parks. So this will have all the governance and everything that you need in this feasibility study to be able to make a better, more informed decision on closing that bridge. And as a citizen, I'm hoping it stays closed because I get to see what goes on. And for the coalition, for our youth, I do everything for our youth. And the school knows because we're big partners with the school. I really hope that it stays closed because I hate seeing when the drug traffickers really start piling in more. When they think that there's freedom, that they can escape, they're going to be there. When they realize that there's not freedom and they can't escape that easily, they start disappearing. So if you got any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Liz. I'd like to say something too. I mean, before you close off the discussion.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
I would like to speak also.
Okay, just a second. Thanks. Okay. At this time, we'll, I guess we can just go down the road if you,
Okay,
if you have any comments.
you go first.
This bridge is very near and dear to me. When I was a kid, thankfully, it was mentioned, it was built in 1930, so I was still a kid after that. My aunt and uncle would drive me through the park so I could see and enjoy the park. I've been taken through that park since I was a little kid, and that included the bridge. So we could go all the way through and see all of the park, not just a piece of it, but the whole thing. I took a poll, a small poll, on the internet, and I had 84 people say that they wanted the park open, or the bridge open. I had 12 people that said they wanted it closed. If it's a safety issue, I have not seen any police reports of any injuries of either animals or humans due to that bridge being open. I personally have not seen anyone speeding through there, although I read somewhere in all this that somebody blasted through there at 60 miles an hour because they were being chased or something. That one's really tough to swallow. I can't imagine hitting those speed bumps at 60 miles an hour. We already have one pedestrian bridge in the park. You can also walk across the vehicular bridge. The bridge was put there for vehicles. If it's a safety issue, then that's a police matter. Closing the bridge with flower pots does not provide safety anywhere. We have plenty of police officers. Many times they go down there and sit, so they just may as well be working and ticketing while they're sitting in the park. So safety is a police matter. It's not about closing a bridge that the taxpayers have paid for and should be able to enjoy. A citizen suggested a full traffic study on top of what Mr. Easley has done. And Autumn has expressed concern about how we might pay for a full traffic study. I think something like that may be in order. I don't have an answer personally about how something like that would be paid for, but it's definitely a consideration. And like I said, we already have a pedestrian bridge in place. Someone said on the internet, we have 2 nice pedestrian bridges. No, we have 1 pedestrian bridge and we have 1 vehicular bridge. That's what it was built for. Also, something on these notes, the Parks Board voted electronically to write a letter of support about something. When did that happen? That wasn't about the bridge, was it?
No, that was about the entertainment structure.
Oh, okay, the thing there. Okay, I support opening the bridge and keeping it open for the citizens. They paid for it, they deserve to be able to use it. All of the citizens, not just the ones walking their dogs or walking themselves. I think that's all until I get home, and then I'll remember a lot of other stuff I wish I had said. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Barbara Hook. We are in District 3. The park touches our property, and it's all wide open. In my office in the basement, I can look out and see almost every bit of the park except the part over by the stage, especially the basketball courts. And I can tell you, since the bridge has been closed, yesterday, in a 2-hour time, I watched 4 cars come off of Churchman Avenue, come around, turn around, and go back up, which is an inconvenience to many. Actually, something happened today. I have a critter trapper that came to my house for some measly raccoons that are in my attic. And he lives in Franklin Township, and he said, "Why in the world did the park close the bridge? It is a thoroughfare. It is for through traffic." Which then brought me up to ask some more questions. Oh, and by the way, since the park bridge has been closed, there's been hardly anybody in the park except for concerts, playing basketball, or if a shelter is rented. I mean, there are people walking the trail, but I don't sit up and watch for all of those. One thing that was brought to my attention is, I believe we are always compared to Greenwood and everything that is decided in Beech Grove. So I wanted to, let you all know that Greenwood Park is open to through traffic, the entire park. And if if Greenwood Park can be open to through traffic, why can't Beech Grove Park? So people can enjoy the park without having, I'm not gonna go down and play basketball, let me tell you that. And then another thing, I don't believe that this can be closed without an ordinance by the council to do so, because it is a thoroughfare. If you pull it up on Google Maps, it shows as a map going through the park. So I think that needs to be checked. There's been so few people in the park, and you're not gonna stop the drug trafficking by closing that bridge. You're just gonna have them go somewhere else in the park and do it. I've watched them over in the parking lot by the shelter. I've watched them over by the Parks building. You're just not gonna stop it. It's just part of this world right now, and it's kind of a crazy thing we live in, but you may defray it a little bit. You know, the only people I see racing through the park right now are the scooters. And they parked actually right next to the basketball court, which is right touching our property. And I don't mind the young kids coming down there to play. It's when the out-of-towners that don't live here come, that are grown adults, and they come into our town, park in our grass, because it's too far to walk from over at the parking area. They park in the grass that the park has to take care, that Tom has to take care of. They turn their headlights on at midnight and play basketball. I know, because my house is right next to the basketball court. And the kids that live in here, the younger kids that live in here, they can't come play basketball because they're bullied. They're just totally bullied constantly. It's very sad. We have 32 acres of park. And this is so underutilized, but I think it's underutilized because the planning and the utilization of it is not in the right place. You know, I could see if we put a 150,000 or a 500,000 amphitheater in, what kind of attention that could bring, because that could bring people from everywhere to the park. We could just have food truck Saturday once a month and have them all come to the park. Everybody could enjoy that. There'd be plenty of parking on both sides. I did last night, for the first time, see a Beech Grove police officer drive through from the 17th entrance out to the Main Street exit, and that's the first police officer I've seen patrol during the day since this park's been closed. So I know it's difficult for them to go through the park unless they're on their golf carts, but if they would come down there and just sit in the park, during the day when all the commotion is going on and these kids that are playing basketball, it's scary. I've heard some drug threats. I've heard some life threats with guns. I've seen drug exchanges happening right in the basketball court next to my house with little kids present. It's absolutely scary, and I think I commend you for doing your work on your feasibility study. But I think it's a matter of, it's a worldwide thing right now, this drug trafficking, and I don't think we're going to stop it. First of all, there's a lot of young children that are involved in it, and it's just time for the parents to be held accountable for what happens with their children. Maybe with the new curfew laws that are coming up, and the parents can be fined soon. If that passes, it'll be a different situation. But I see everything that happens in that park. I'm not nosy. I don't sit outside because the mosquitoes will carry you away. But I can see through the picture windows all across the back of my house. So I don't approve of closing the park bridge, because I can see what kind of traffic is in there. When the park bridge is closed, hardly anybody's in the park. Used to, people would come on their lunch hour and come and sit in the park and eat their lunch in the park and then drive off and go to work. I just don't see that very often anymore. A few of them, but not as often. And I think that because we are underutilizing our park and putting such limitations on everything, it's pushing people away. It's pushing people away from coming to the park because it's such a hassle. That's my personal feeling. Now, the young kids, Bishop gets out there and he loves getting those young kids to shoot basketballs from the center line, and he's just a big basketball fan. But I really think we should take this to the council, and I think there should be an ordinance approved to close this thoroughfare, because it is on the Google map. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
So you want it closed or open?
To keep it open.
I'm sorry.
I said to keep the bridge open because it is on Google Maps.
Gotcha. Mayor Kaufman, do you have anything to add before we move on? Thank you.
Jim Kaufman, Mayor for the City of Beech Grove. There's a couple things that were mentioned tonight that aren't necessarily true. It is not a thoroughfare. It is not part of our pavement asset management plan that the City of Beech Grove has to do.
Even though when you pull up directions on Google, it takes you through the park?
Correct.
So
thoroughfares.
It's not a thoroughfare.
Correct. It is not a thoroughfare. So it keeps me saying it. So thoroughfares are like Emerson Avenue. Thoroughfares are under the responsibility of the City of Indianapolis.
But it is a road.
Well, it keeps saying it's a thoroughfare. It's not a thoroughfare.
Oh, it's a road.
Park road.
Okay, it's a road.
It's a park street. It's not an actual road. It's a part of the park. So it is not a thoroughfare.
It's a vehicular bridge.
Yes,
Correct.
it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's a bridge. Correct.
Vehicular bridge. It
And
was installed as.
Well, no, it's both. It has a sidewalk on it.
It was installed as a vehicular bridge.
And a pedestrian bridge, correct? Because there's an actual sidewalk. So there's no sidewalks in the park except along the bridge.
Mm-hmm. So pedestrians can walk on the sidewalk.
Correct. So what the City of Beech Grove has done over the last several years, and it takes a long time to do this. Every time I go to the park, it is busier than I've ever seen it before. The Franciscan Trail has completely changed the whole face of the city. And our park system. It's connected our parks to every other area throughout the city. With the addition of the Hornet Greenway, you can get to just about anywhere in the City of Beech Grove via the trails. When you come to the summer concert series, I'm not sure how many of you have been to the summer concert series. You see cars lined up on every street in every direction in and out of the park. And then you have cars coming through there and people walking. So it is a safety concern for everybody. There have been more people down there that I've ever seen, and I've lived there my whole life, and it's a destination. It should be treated as one. So I think that's why it's come up. So you can see work has been discussed for several years, and Tom Hannon, he's the director. He can come up and speak as well, because they see who's down there. They see the activity each and every day, and if they come to us and say that it's a safety concern, and you do have people down there, and I do see our police officers down there all the time. Well,
and I mentioned in my comment the only time it's busy is for a concert, which there's only 6 of them this year or something like that, 10 of them. So it's only for those concerts that we have to
Throughout
be
the summer,
concerned,
correct.
because that's
And-
the only time the park is
Yeah.
busy with the bridge closed.
And that's when the busiest time of the year is, right? For sure, because that's when people are using the parks. There are some individuals who use it throughout the winter with the dog park. Some people do use it trails throughout the winter. But the park specifically, it is a destination and it should be treated as one. So we have our police officers. They are there all the time. I see them going through the park all the time. All the time. The park is still open to everybody. The park is not closed at all. And people are saying, open the park, open the park. The park is fully accessible. I'm sorry?
Okay.
So it is still open though. Just for the record, the park is still open. You can still access it any time of the day. But if
Well,
it
while it's open. While it's open.
correct, it does close at night. Correct.
It does close.
It does close at night. That is
Excuse
true.
me, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
You made your comment. You made your comment. Thank you. You made your comment. Thank you.
During these meetings, you don't talk while someone else is speaking, okay?
Everybody else been doing it. She
No.
cut 'em off. He cut 'em
Okay.
off.
All right. Well, nobody's gonna cut anybody else
Thank
off.
you.
Thank you.
So yeah, so like I said, it is a safety concern. So we do have vehicles speeding throughout there all throughout the day, okay? And our police officers are targeting that, and they're targeting that throughout the entire city. Our police department is fully staffed, and they are busy all day long. If you look at the number of tickets that they have written in the last year and a half, from prior to that, they more than doubled and tripled the amount of tickets they write in the city of Beech Grove. So we can't say that they're not doing anything. So I take that, I have a concern with that being said, that they're not doing anything because they are.
Well, I
And
live
they
there,
are-
and I
Okay. We're not
know.
gonna cut anybody else off.
and they are busy. So again, we don't need to get a debate in the police department or what our employees do because they are busy and they're continuing to be busy. When it comes to the park and to the bridge, it is still fully accessible. I mean, you can still drive through the park. It's not stopping you from driving through the park, right? You can get there from Sherman. You can get all the way out to Main Street. You get from Main Street all the way to Sherman. You can come in off of 13th in Churchman, and you can come into the park. You can still get to the dog park. You can still get to the baseball field. You can get to the main playground area and the main shelter areas. They combine right there to each other, right? The only thing you can't do is enter in on 13th and exit onto Main Street or to 17th. That's the only thing you can no longer do. Everything else remains the same with the park. And again, it's because of public safety. And our job as a city is to protect each and every person that visits that park. Whether you're driving through it from Sherman to Main Street, it's still our job to protect you. If you're walking your dog, you're walking your kids in the stroller, you're visiting us for the summer concert series, that's our job to protect you. Parks are meant to be destinations. And we have such a beautiful park and we should be excited about it and we want to invite people here. And if you see the amount of people down at the parks each and every day, people are coming from all over. I run on the trail, I walk on the trail, and I use my bike on the trail. And every time I see new people using that trail, and people are eating lunch there. When this new shelter for the amphitheater comes in, I envision more people sitting down and taking a rest and taking breaks there. I see kids playing each and every day at the playgrounds. I see the shelters. The shelters are booked all summer long. Once they open up, and Tiffany can speak to this more than I can, once you open up those shelters, they get sold out in no time, correct? And it's impressive. And we have a beautiful park system with employees who work their tails off each and every day, and it shows. And I think we should be proud of that, and we should make it a destination, right? And we need to protect the people who are there, and that's why this is happening. And I applaud Diana. I appreciate her work that she's done over the last several years in the coalition for this, because again, at the end of the day, we have to protect everyone that visits our park, while still inviting them, because we want them to come play basketball. We want them to visit our dog park and to rent the shelters and come to the summer concert series. And it's our job and our duty to protect them when they come, for any of those aspects. But we need to encourage them and to visit and to stay. And I love people driving through the park, but if you used to drive through the park, and you come from that direction, I encourage you to come and park your car and get out and sit on one of the benches or the rocks and hang out. And I think you're going to love it. I think it's great for exercise and mental health, and there's so many aspects of our park system, and I think we're losing sight of that right now because of a bridge. And like I said, it's fully open, it's accessible, and I love our bridge, and I think they're the best. And I'd put them to the test to any other municipality surrounding us. And I think that goes to our department and our employees who do that, because they've been working for years and years and years, and that's a beautiful, beautiful gym that we have in the city of Beech Grove. So I think the closing the bridge, again, it just prevents the vehicles and it slows down the traffic. That's the whole goal of it, to slow down the traffic and encourage people to stop and slow down. And that's the same thing that we do throughout our city. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have of me if you have any.
Do you have any idea how many tickets our officers have written in the park? For
In the park,
speeding?
I do not know that.
For
no.
speeding.
No, ma'am,
Uh-huh.
I do not know that. I do not. Yes, ma'am.
Well, there is one of the ordinances for Beech Grove that indicates that the 17th Street entrance, which the sign's been removed because it was in someone's yard, but the 17th Street entrance is actually a through street, and it's in the
Man.
Beech Grove ordinance. So
Man Drive.
it's not being real honest if we not make it a through street. Because if the Beech Grove ordinance says it's a through street, it's a through street. Well, a through
Where are
street
you
is a
seeing
road
that
that
at? Can I
is
see
a
where you're
road.
seeing that at? Do you-
In Beech Grove ordinance, I don't know
Which
which
one?
ordinance it is.
In like
You
the
can, you might ask.
Well, where
he
did you
might
find
know.
it at?
Huh?
Where did you find it? Did you just look it up?
No, I just had somebody text me that it
Okay.
is in the ordinances.
Okay. Can you ask them what?
Tell you what it is.
Yeah.
What it is, that's,
Yeah, we need
Who's
the
sending that
number.
to? Yeah. Who, yeah.
I'll send it to you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, so but this is a park area, so the Parks Board has that authority.
That gentleman back there
Can I
has
be allowed to ask a question?
Sure, of course.
Do you have any statistics on, you said it's a safety issue?
Mhm.
In- You know, do we have statistics on, has there been a pedestrian ever hit by a car?
Yes.
I don't recall it. I've
Yeah.
been there, I mean, I've been on it over 50 years.
can I
Be honest
ask,
with
can I
you.
ask a question to your question?
Yeah.
Do we have to wait till there's a child with tire marks to do something?
Oh, for Christ's sake, Tara.
Oh,
Well, you're.
I didn't respond to you, Barb, with a smart aleck remark. No, sir. No, sir. I'm gonna finish this statement. I didn't comment when you gave your piece. Now you don't get to comment when I make mine.
Sure.
Thank you. Go ahead.
And the road on the west side of the creek is how I got my address. What people think is the back of my house is actually the front. It faces the park, which is how I got a 16th Street address. So 16th Street, or Avenue, I should say, connects to 15th. So now, I'm being limited on how I can use 15th Street, which is the street that the bridge is on. That's 15th Street, or 15th Avenue. Because my address is 16, not Man Drive. My front door faces the park, the road on the west side of the creek, and that is 16th Avenue, as Beech Grove laid it out.
And that's still open.
Well, it goes to 15th, but then I'm limited on 15th. I can only go one direction on 15th, even though it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
So,
I gotta see this property.
right?
I gotta see
Yeah.
where
I guess
you
I'm confused
live.
with what your question is, sir.
Well, you're closing my ability to travel on 15th Street off 16th Street when 15th Street is a two-way street. It's not one way. I can now only go one way. I can only go
You
north.
can't come down.
You can turn around
If
to,
I'm accessing 15th from 16th from my house, 16th Street being, Avenue being in the park,
Yeah.
when I get to the bridge, which is 15th, it's a two-way street. Well, now I can't turn south. I can only turn north. So we've turned that into a one-way street for me. I mean, I guess I'm playing devil's
Yeah,
advocate.
like I said, and that's the issue. It's not a thoroughfare. You can still use it. You can still visit the parks. That's the reason this is happening, is because we want you to visit the parks. You just can't cut through and speed through that way anymore because of the bridge.
Well, that's kind of
So,
presumptive. I'm gonna speed through. I've been using that park since I was 16.
Well, I
years
know.
Well, the
I'm
point
not
is that
saying you, sir.
no
I'm not
one-
saying you. I'm
it-
just saying
it's
in
happening
general.
less.
This has been a discussion for many years, as you can see with the study that was done back in 2022. So it's taken a while to get here, and I think at the end of the day, I think again we need to be proud of our parks, invite people to come and visit, and stop the cars and hang out for a minute. And I think they're going to join and they're going to come back. The parks have never been busier, and I think Tom will agree to that. So I'm going to ask Tom to come up and ask a few things, or say a few things after I'm done. But if there's any other questions, you will.
Thanks, Jim.
No problem. I appreciate it. Thank you for the board, and I appreciate everybody serving for the city of Beech Grove. It's we should be proud, and you all do well in the Parks Board. And I know you're all volunteers, and I appreciate your opinions. And and I hear all of you, and I hear everyone else and the opinions as well. So thank you for voicing. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's nice to see so many people here.
Volunteer, we don't get paid?
Nope.
I'd like to, a couple comments. I've seen a lot of these pop-up polls that have gone on are addressing both a cut-through, it's a convenience to cut through to get from 17th to the Churchman exit or entrance, whatever you want to call it. And the other one is they like to be able to drive through and bring their mothers through and their grandparents through and enjoy the beauty of the park. Closing a 2-second across the bridge, that's the only thing you're losing is a 2-second drive across a bridge. You're not losing any of the beauty. Every entrance is still open. Everything that you can do in the park by playing baseball, basketball, sitting in the shelters, walking the trails is still accessible as it always has been. It's just that 2-minute drive across a bridge. You would think that we've got, the Golden Gate Bridge or the Brooklyn Bridge that we're talking about. We're talking just a small little chunk of area that's not taken away from anything. And they talk about convenience. I actually drove it the other day, and driving through the park at the 10 miles per hour speed limit actually takes longer than going from that 17th Street entrance or exit, driving all the way down to 13th and driving down to the Churchman entrance. It actually takes, that was a minute 40 it took to drive that outside of the park versus 2 minutes and 8 seconds driving it in the park. So it's not it's a habit, but it's not a convenience. People have done this for all these years and think, hey, I've done it, this is the way I've done it. But why do we change it? Change is not always bad, it's not always negative. So it's not a convenience, it's just a habit when people cut through that park. So that's, I know that people have got a lot of, tradition in their mind and how it's always been and why change it. But this, it's just, safety, I think, takes precedent over anything and everything that's out there.
Tom, did you have anything to add? Just maybe just a brief synopsis of what you have personally seen, maybe?
I can't really say it any better than Ben said it, but there are a couple things. One reason why this sort of boiled up to a head now is because once the trail was open, pedestrian traffic in the park picked up significantly. And I've been down there now. I was born here, I grew up here, I spent a lot of time in the park too, and I'm 71 now, so I've seen a lot of stuff down there. I've been working down there for 2,400 hours a year for 16 years. This is the heaviest the pedestrian traffic's ever been, by far. The dog walkers and the scooters and, all of that. And the people who walk the trail. A lot of those people walk from their home into the park. So you may not see 100 cars in the park, but there are a lot of people using the park anyway. And the other thing is just the point that, as far as I know, there hasn't been anybody hit in the park either, but we don't want that to happen. And the best way to do that is to reduce the amount of times people and cars are together, and we've done that in a simple way. So that's all I've got.
One question on that, and Diana kind of pointed out, on that stop sign down there by the portalet there at the bottom of the hill, is that designed as a true stop sign or just if there's pedestrians on the trail that want to cross over?
Excuse me just a second, I'm sorry. The one I was pointing out is the one right there at the bridge. The only stop sign where coming from 17th to Churchman and 13th that they're driving through, there's only one stop sign and it's right there. That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
Is the one right there at the bridge that most people don't realize is.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
The other ones I think are warnings for the trail. I don't know if it's an actual
Or yield.
traffic sign or not.
Right, I mean, you know what the stop sign, to the
Yeah.
smaller one? Yeah, I'd like to see actually a real, I'm not sure who makes that determination, Public Works or,
If they're trail signs, they're not regulations, they're not the normal
street signs.
Okay,
At least the one I think you're talking about, Jeff, the one that crosses.
correct, yes.
There is a speed bump there too. But we have 5 speed bumps, and if you're going quick enough, you don't really notice them. You know, a lot of people do just fly over 'em.
Well, and they also talked about the ambulances, the emergency services that wouldn't be able to, I've never seen a police or ambulance use the park as a cut through, thinking, hey, we're gonna go this route to get to an emergency.
They were the first 2 people I went to when we started talking about all this, and neither one of them had an issue with it. And there hasn't been any issues.
Right, good.
I have one other thing to say.
Okay.
I personally, because I live close to the park, think that the biggest safety concern the Parks Department should deal with right now is putting walking sidewalks clear to the park from all of the entrances, because when you're walking down off of the 17th Street, entrance, and you walk down to get around that curb, all the bushes and everything are so high and they stick out so far, you can't see if there's a car coming around the corner. And there needs to be sidewalks at every entrance to the park. At least one way for somebody to walk down into the park if they want to walk from their home. That's it.
Thank you. All right. We will move on to the next item on our agenda this evening. If nobody else, everybody's got to speak on that. So just a note about the farmer's market, if you haven't got a chance to visit that, I know I try to, sometimes the day gets away from you. But every time there's at least 1 or 2 more vendors or something a little bit different happening. So if you get a chance to check that out, I highly recommend just stopping by there one day. I don't think we have any updates on the beer and wine ordinance. That's just something that we'll just keep working on as time allows. And Tom, did you have, I'm sorry if I missed it, a pavilion update? Sorry.
It's been ordered, I don't have a date yet.
Okay. He said that it was ordered and then there's no delivery date. Is that correct? Okay. Well, we're gonna move on to new business, and I wish I would have started out this meeting with this because it's amazing news. We got notification today that we were awarded another $100,000 from DNR for the Lake and River Enhancement Grant. Thank you. So Tom and the city we're going to be on an email chain to properly move forward with that grant and get the rest of the creek stabilized.
Oh,
So
that would be great.
I'm sorry.
I can't wait till they get down by our end.
It's it looks so great. If you haven't parked your car, get out. There's beautiful rocks. They put rocks in the middle. You can hear the ripples. It's very
wow.
relaxing. It's lovely. So thanks to DNR and the work of the Parks Board, we will get to continue that.
Nice.
Yes, fantastic. We did, and Tom, this is another question for you. Sorry to bug you again. Did you see the little library request? Isn't there already one in there?
Yes, I talked to
Okay.
him about it.
Okay, you did? Okay,
Okay.
sorry
Okay.
about that. Tom said he already talked to the individual, and now he knows there's one there.
I thought that was just me, I didn't know the park board got that.
Oh, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure he was
Yeah.
addressed. Thank you. Tom?
Is he gonna be helping with that one? Because I do think it is a little neglected.
Yeah, what was his,
I didn't hear anything back from him.
okay.
There is one on the way to the top of the hilltop shelter.
Okay. Fantastic. The next item, which is not so fun but necessary, our 5-year master plan, which the one from 2021 to 2026 is on the website, but 2026 is right at our tails. So we do, I looked up all the, like they have like a guideline sheet, kind of a tutorial. It's really, really nice on the DNR website. Love DNR, but anyway, they actually would like a draft from us by November.
Ooh.
So between now and the next meeting, you will probably be receiving a lot of email correspondence. Just kind of dividing that up. We are going to have to divide and conquer. You can pick which part you would like to do, but it's going to be all hands on deck because it is, and it's very important. Since we do have that on file every 5 years, we are eligible for these grants. If we did not have that on file with them, letting them know. And next meeting, we can also go through the 2021 to 2026 and look at all of the items that we were able to accomplish. And that's not to say we're done. It's not 2026 yet, but that's going to be a heavy lift, and that is coming up next. You've been warned.
Say something?
I'm sorry.
Oh, just can I say something?
Sure.
Since we have so many guests today, if you have thoughts on what you would like the 5-year plan to be, please share with us, reach out. We want input.
And part of that, part of the plan will be, we have some required public input.
Yeah.
Meetings and surveys and such, but you can always reach us. We have a phone line that goes to a message box and an email. And you can find us here.
Yep.
And you can
Monday
send an
through
email
Wednesday.
just to the Parks Board, and it'll get to all of us, so
Yep.
we can all kind of see it that way.
Yep. Thank you, Autumn. And then do we have a way to get a Greenscape Commission update? Should I just email them? Okay. Sorry, I don't know. Somebody out there. The Parks Board, we appoint somebody to the Greenscape Commission. So I just want to, I mean, even if it's just like 2 sentences, just so we know.
I can say something real quick.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak on behalf of the Greenscape, but they did. I believe we've seen a draft for the tree inventory.
Oh.
So I'm pretty sure I have that. I haven't reached out to the Greenscape to see what their thoughts on it is.
Awesome.
What their thoughts on it are right now, but I did see one come through my email last week. So I'm pretty sure if it's not done, it's almost done. But
that's
I'll let
awesome.
them speak to you about that. But that's exciting. We're excited for that process and hopefully get some more trees planted where we need trees. So.
Now, Jim, do they update us too where we do need trees then?
I think
or-
that's correct. That is part of that plan. I think it was, I forget how much, $13,000 or something that we got as a grant that they applied for, the Greenscape applied for. So yes, that was part of it. Is they assess all the trees in the public right of ways, the parks. They let you know what kind of species there are, how many maples we have, how many trees we have.
Other
Right.
trees.
Oaks, all that.
Trees, other trees.
Yes. So, and then they let you know, okay, well, this area is really, we need some trees in this area. We need some more of this species. We have too many of this species. Don't put that one down. So, again, I'm not a tree expert and don't claim to be one, but I believe that's the whole point of that. And then they'll take that to the Greenscape, and then they'll make the decision, and hopefully they get some trees planted. So,
Thank you.
yes.
Okay. That was the end of new business. What else do we have? Anything else?
I just want to thank everybody for attending tonight. It's great to see a room full of people.
We're here every second Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Second Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m.
So y'all come back.
Yep.
Bring your friends.
Yes, bring a friend. I will just kind of put a bow on this for this evening. I think it is important that we hear all sides of this bridge conversation. Maybe we can take, I mean, it's up to the board. We can call for a vote this evening to vote in support. And I guess I'll reiterate this before I go on. It is a temporary closure. Those, I'm not sure how quick Tom can move them, but it is a temporary closure. So I do just want to reiterate that. But we could vote tonight to support the temporary closure. And again, that can be revisited. And
I would like
I think
to
we should-
look
I
at
think
her
we should
feasibility
I'm sorry?
study. I would like to read her
Okay.
feasibility study and
yeah,
and
there's
go
a,
over
yeah, I
that
would just kind
before
of got
we
to thumb
vote.
through. I haven't
And
got to read it.
Can
but-
Ben email us what he did?
His study.
I might
I don't-
have it in
I
our
don't
old
think he,
plan.
maybe you could email that to us then.
I better make a note of it.
Plus, Tara, isn't this going to council also?
I do not believe it is in the council's jurisdiction. It's
I
under the
don't know,
Parks
but I
Board.
believe it's going to be brought up in council.
also
I'm
that.
sorry, Jim, I didn't.
Yeah, they were all invited tonight. I thought some of them were coming, but, no, it is the park's decision.
Okay.
So we'll,
I wonder if we could also just get a report of any crime that has happened in Sarah T. Bolton Park.
Oh, I'm sure that's available somewhere
I just don't know
with the
where.
police department.
so we'll have the next month to kind of read everything and digest everything that was presented to us
Before
tonight,
we
and then
go.
the board can choose to put it up for a vote.
Yeah.
So thank you all for coming. We do love to have visitors, especially when we get to talk about the awesome things at the Little League and the great summer that was had out there with all of the amazing kids in our community and things like that. So thank you all for coming. Our next meeting is September 10th at 7 p.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Make a motion
get a
to
second?
adjourn. Oh.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned at 8:21.